strategies. And the one instructional strategy I want to talk about is project-based learning. 2 years ago, I started working with project-based learning at a different level than I ever thought I'd get to. Project-based learning started for me anyway when I was working with CTF. And the CTF curriculum was being redesigned, and I was fortunate enough to be asked to be on the committee of our division, who was also working with Alberta Education. Then I got so swept up into it that Alberta Ed was asking me and a couple others from our division to travel around the province and give the speech on why PBL works really well with the CTF curriculum. Part of that is taking the CTF curriculum and incorporating other subjects, math, science, social. You've heard Ed talk about it continually, and he's on the money. It's huge. It's a huge impact on our educational system, and that curriculum is now being developed for our upcoming curriculum change. Well, it was anyway. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, back to project-based learning. I started as a traditional teacher. I started with the Madeline Hunter design, and thinking the backwards design, you introduce it, teach it, practice it, assess it. Introduce, teach, practice, assess. That was when I was in the public system for a year. Went to Catholic system and met Brenda McDonald. Brenda McDonald then started introducing me to some other ideas, math manipulatives and getting kids into groups, group work, that sort of thing. Sort of the surface level of project-based learning. So a lot of people considered me a project-based teacher. And at the time I was pretty proud of that, but really it was really paper stuff, building worksheets. The kids would build posters, basic dessert projects, that kind of thing. When I got to Charity Allen's PBL 101, I picked up this book and this book, and I started reading through them, and I got really excited about it when I was working at St. Thomas. I came back after a 3-day workshop with her, and I was fired up and ready to go. I started taking projects that I had done in the past that were more traditional, let's put it that way. Easy to mark, more traditional, and I started adding projects to them. Not so much me giving them a project and a rubric, but the opposite of that, asking kids what they wanted to learn and just trying to get them to incorporate the objectives that I was supposed to be teaching. Apparently I got pretty good at it. I started then traveling around and talking to a lot of different administrators and teachers on how to do it correctly within their division. Last year I did 43 of them, and between Edmonton and Calgary, everything in between, I was able to meet a lot of teachers and administrators that are really gung-ho about this, and it is sort of the movement, is meeting students where they're at. So project-based learning is sort of where I'm at now. I'm really getting pumped about it. Today I was at a workshop with Charity Allen again, and she came up from the States just for our division. And we did some stuff about brainstorming and how to build groups and what to do with groups. So we got really deep in that part of project-based learning. Project-based learning is essentially asking a question and then building a project around that one question. Using scaffolding, having students look over other students' work, allowing them to refine and bring it back. The assessment then doesn't happen at the end. It happens throughout. Continual assessment at every stage. I like this strategy a lot because it gives students freedom to kind of learn what they think is important. It also gives them an opportunity to connect prior knowledge to what you're doing, and it provides a huge interest level for them. So they get to decide how they present, they get to decide what the topic's going to be, and it all is guided around one question. The last question I did for a Science 8 project that was quite big was which inventor had the most impact on our world today? And kids then could research whomever they wanted. I mean, we talked about Walt Disney, we talked about Edison, we even then took that one step further and had students invent their own invention that they thought would be interesting. And two of the girls in one of my classes actually created an invention. One was a hanger that would extend and contract. Anyway, PBL is exciting not only for students, but it really pumps the tires up of a teacher like me. It gets me excited about teaching.